Welcome back to Kin in Line. I'll make this part 104. We're in the UK still. In fact, this drawing was done in Dublin. Robin and I took a holiday there before the birth of our first child. So late 1990 probably. And I think this was done in O'Donoghue's pub, which is famous for the Dubliners having set up there in the early 60s. So we got quite a few sketches I did of musicians around Ireland. We travelled around in a car which we'd borrowed. And so you see quite a few of these. This is actually back in Acton. Sean Brady at the Shebeen, that was the name of the pub, or the room behind the pub at the Six Bells in Acton High Street. And my son Luke, aged about 2 or so, must have taken his felt tip pen to this, which didn't help it really. Anyway, Sean Brady was singing about the Birmingham Six, so this was a protest song against the ongoing sort of saga between the UK and so-called terrorists in Northern Ireland. So these weren't in the pub, but they must have been nearby, somewhere in London that we visited, maybe a park or something. Now we are back among the people, and I'm not sure where these were done, but quite nice, I think. Nice sketches. The shaped paper is enjoyable. We're back with the Crack. That was the band at the Shebeen. 2 guys from Ireland who played Irish sort of traditional. And then on another of our excursions, we went to the island of Mull in the Inner Hebrides off Scotland's west coast. And I drew this from Oban, which is the port from which you take a ferry to the island of Mull. Robin had actually worked there in the late 80s at a castle called Duart Castle. And so this was while we were waiting to get the ferry. The thing about these islands is you actually don't know where an island starts and a loch starts and the sea ends, or vice versa. Same occasion, I focused in on this sort of headland. Little house there, I see. And then after we'd been to Mull and actually out onto the island of Iona, which is a sort of ancient Christian settlement, we spent a night at Red Bay Cottage. And that's where I sketched these geese or duck, whatever they are. Some sort of duck, domestic, not wild. And this was also done at Red Bay Cottage. So wherever we went, I kept sketching. I had this really upmarket sketchbook. Now, actually, yeah, I think this was where we went to some place on the Thames, Richmond, I think. And although this is just a figure, the next one I think shows a bit of Richmond. No, not really. Anyway, these people were sitting on the banks of the River Thames in the sun. You know, in England you really do appreciate the sun and you get out into it when it shines. Unlike here where we escape indoors when it gets too hot. So there's people chatting, they look like hippies. Yeah, and then I could be back in the army here, but this guy was writing, soaking up the sun at Richmond. Notice how that leg is just suggested on the right there. That's what happens. You can be drawing and the figure will just move completely, and then that's why the head is in numerous places, I suppose. Then I remember following this old chap somewhere and doing this quick sketch of him. I think I've got another one of him on the bus or something, because we had to take a bus out here. We only ever use public transport except for that one. Yeah, this is... That's what I mean about old people's characters, and they just become more interesting to draw. Look at this hand looks like it's racked by arthritis or something. Of course, we all end up there sometime. And another trip we took to Salisbury. It is Salisbury Cathedral, and nearby is Stonehenge. So this was a detail. There were only a few people there. We were lucky to get it quite unpopulated. What was interesting were these mortise and tenon joints on top. So you can see these little knobs that stick up at the top there, and apparently they're actually the lintels that went across the top fitted into those. So much like our woodwork joint. So here's a distant drawing of it. And so those horizontal pieces were kind of put in place using those joints, which must have taken a lot of hard work to carve them out. There is a mound to the right, which I think might also have some historical significance. Maybe a burial mound or something. This paper's so thick, I actually not sure if I'm missing a page here. Yeah, I think that's it for this book, which was a nice, nice English one. Made where? Yeah, Berkshire. I mean, just two loose pages here. Same shape actually. So this is on the embankment near Parliament, near Westminster, with these lovely shady trees. And then another one of Big Ben and the rest of Westminster Palace. Again, probably quite cold, hence the scribbled nature of the drawing. It's too damn cold to hold a pencil or a pen. So yeah, I've got another big posh drawing book that Luke's scribbling. So Luke took to a lot of these books. Fortunately, he didn't destroy too many drawings. So our first place we stayed at, oh, look at that sunlight, what it's done. I don't know how that worked, was Gunnersbury Park, just west of Acton, I think. And yeah, look at the sky. Unfortunately, Luke has added a touch there, which is sad. This was quite a nice one. I've turned this into a painting, actually, for what it was worth. Young girl feeding the ducks in Gunnersbury Park. I've since seen a documentary. There's a wonderful old mansion on Gunnersbury Park, which when we were there was quite derelict, but I've seen now they've totally revamped it. Just shows you what can be done if you look after stuff, you know. And I've seen so many historic buildings in Port Elizabeth go to rack and ruin. But in the UK, they sort their buildings out. A lot of them anyway. Quite hard to turn these pages. Not the greatest. Sure. I had forgotten about these drawings. Some guy pushing something. And who was this? Or this? Or for that matter, this. Looks like she's writing something. Looks like she's in a restaurant writing up the prices or something of the menu on a blackboard. Pretty sure that's what this was. Try and just focus on her a bit. It just shows, you know, you can do an instant in time. Losing a page or two here. It's definitely one working. Pardon my... Now we are back in South Africa. And I think this would be Luke or Doug, my two sons, so they're already up and running. And he's sitting on a... We didn't have a swimming pool, so we just had one of these little paddling pooly things that you top up. It's one of them standing in it. probably Luke. And the two brothers in arms. Luke and Doug. At this point, I've definitely just lost all interest in becoming totally, I mean, these are just drawings for the sake of drawings. They just happen to be the models. Who was this bird? I don't know. Can't place those people, I think. Very good drawings here, not too much to report. Some euphorbia in the Eastern Cape, so not great. Yeah, so I remember we went to the East London Museum, famous for its coelacanth discovery in 1938, I think. But it's got a lot of stuffed fish like this, stump nose, red stump nose. So I just drew it for the sake of something to draw. There's an eagle there, and I'm going to have to leave it and come back next time.